Welcome to the training series on Textile Color Lab Operations and Technical Manual. In Chapter 1, we will discuss the introduction to Textile Color Labs. In this chapter, you will learn what a color lab is, why it plays a critical role, and how it supports the complete dyeing and finishing process in a textile mill. 1.1 Purpose and Scope of a Color Lab. Now let us understand the purpose and scope of a color lab. A color lab, also known as a dyeing lab, plays a critical role in the entire dyeing process of a textile mill. It is the heart of color development and approval, where customer expectations are transformed into practical and achievable production results. The main purpose of the color lab is to develop and approve new colors, or lab dips, as requested by buyers and merchandisers. At the same time, the lab ensures that dye recipes are cost-effective, technically suitable, and easily reproducible on the production floor. The color lab also supports bulk dyeing by providing accurate and reliable dye formulations that can be followed consistently during production. When a color lab is well managed, it significantly reduces dyeing problems, minimizes rework, and helps avoid delivery delays. Ultimately, it ensures right first time dyeing, leading to improved quality, efficiency, and customer satisfaction in bulk production. 1.2 Role of the lab in supporting dyeing and finishing. The color lab does much more than simply matching shades. It plays an active role in ensuring overall product performance and production stability. Before bulk dyeing starts, the lab verifies critical color fastness requirements, such as washing, rubbing, and light fastness, to ensure the shade will meet buyer standards. The lab also supports production by troubleshooting when bulk shades go off-tone. By analyzing the root cause, the lab helps correct issues quickly and prevents further losses. In addition, the lab works closely with the finishing department to understand how different finishing processes, such as enzyme, silicone, or resin finishes, can affect the final shade appearance. For example, if a buyer requests a reactive turquoise shade on cotton, the lab not only develops the correct color, but also checks its stability after washing. This ensures that when the shade goes into bulk production, the dyeing floor does not face rejections, rework, or customer complaints. Key functions and responsibilities of a color lab manager. A color lab manager is responsible for leading the lab team to consistently deliver accurate and reliable results. One of the primary responsibilities is ensuring precise lab dip preparation and timely approvals. Equally important is submitting lab dips on time to buyers and merchandisers, as any delay can directly impact production schedules. The lab manager also oversees the development of dye recipes that are not only technically correct, but also cost-effective and reproducible in bulk production. In addition, they are responsible for the routine calibration, proper operation, and maintenance of lab instruments such as spectrophotometers and auto-dispensers to ensure accuracy and consistency. Another key responsibility is manpower planning and training. The lab manager must ensure that all lab technicians are well trained and strictly follow standard operating procedures. Close coordination with the production team is also essential to maintain shade continuity from lab approval to bulk dyeing. Finally, the lab manager must ensure proper documentation and record keeping, which is critical for internal controls as well as buyer and compliance audits. Typical daily tasks of a color lab manager. At the start of the day, the lab manager reviews all new lab dip requests, checks incoming submissions, and prioritizes urgent or buyer-critical shades. Next, they approve lab dips or recommend retrials, ensuring that each dip matches the approved standard and meets buyer expectations. The lab manager also checks spectrophotometer calibration logs to confirm that daily calibration has been completed correctly, which is essential for accurate color measurement. Throughout the day, they discuss any dyeing or fastness-related issues with the dye house manager or the QA team to get feedback from production. Another important task is guiding lab technicians, especially when working on critical or complex color matches, to ensure precision and consistency. Finally, the lab manager updates lab dip and bulk dyeing records regularly, maintaining proper traceability and supporting future analysis or troubleshooting when issues arise. Color Lab's place in the total supply chain. The Color Lab acts as a critical link between marketing or buyers and the production floor. Its role is to ensure that the buyer's design vision is accurately translated into a practical and achievable production reality. At the same time, the lab confirms that the mill can reproduce the approved shade consistently in bulk, while staying within cost, quality, and time constraints. The impact of a strong and well-functioning color lab is significant. It leads to fewer rejections, faster deliveries, and greater buyer satisfaction. Ultimately, this directly improves the factory's efficiency, reputation, and overall profitability. Common problems when labs are weak. Many factories face serious challenges because their labs do not follow proper systems and controls. One common issue is lab dips that appear visually acceptable in the lab but fail during bulk dyeing, often due to poor process matching between lab and production. Another frequent problem is high shade variation, or high delta E, between lab samples and bulk production. Weak labs also tend to have slow lab dip turnaround times, which can delay production schedules and shipments. In addition, incorrect or unverified color fastness results often lead to buyer complaints and rejections. Finally, a lack of proper training means technicians may not fully understand how to use instruments correctly, resulting in inaccurate measurements and unreliable results. All of these issues highlight why a strong, well-managed color lab is essential for consistent quality and smooth production flow. To conclude Chapter 1, let's review the key takeaways. First, a color lab is not just a support function. It is a critical control point in the textile dyeing process. The performance of the lab directly impacts quality, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. Second, the color lab manager plays a central role in balancing quality, cost, and delivery by coordinating between buyers, the lab team, and production. Third, setting up clear procedures, providing proper training, and effectively using instruments such as spectrophotometers are essential to achieving reliable and repeatable results. Finally, a strong color lab operation ensures right first-time dyeing, reduces rework, minimizes delays, and leads to happier buyers and a more profitable operation. Quick tips for lab manager. First, always double-check new dye combinations for color fastness before giving approval. This small step can prevent major problems during bulk production. Second, make it a habit to maintain and review daily calibration logs. Buyers and auditors often look for these records, and they demonstrate strong control and professionalism in lab operations. Finally, maintain clear and open communication with the production team. This helps avoid the common, lab versus bulk, blame game and ensures everyone works together toward the same quality goal. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope this training has given you a clear understanding. If you found this session useful, please share your feedback so we can continue improving our training programs for you.